Hello everyone, the Nerdy Steve here, and today we'll be featuring a mono red deck in Standard. The list is in the description below. I'm going to talk a little bit about the plan of the deck, and then we'll play a couple of games. So, let's go. This deck and how its function and how we play it isn't really going to surprise anyone. We are a mono red aggressive deck, and we want to kill our opponent as quickly as possible. And with that, we have a lot of creatures with haste, or creatures that deal damage when they enter the battlefield. And that kind of applies to everything but our Radha's Firebrand. All of our other creatures have haste or can potentially have haste. Kumano faces Kakkazan, deals 1 damage when it enters battlefield, as is Voldaren Epicure, right? So we have a lot, everything in our deck is gonna deal damage out of the gate. And so our deck wants to really leverage that by, being constantly and consistently aggressive and trying to navigate the games where our opponent's always on the back foot. And we want to use our removal to, potentially get rid of creatures so we can keep on attacking. And honestly, that's kind of it. There's nothing really too special to say about this game. Now, again, I always preface, mono red videos as, while it might be very, very easy to say that mono red is like a very, very simple deck to play, an easy deck to play, there are games that really, really good mono red players will win that a lot of other players won't win because you aren't being as aggressive as you need, or you're putting your removal at the wrong place and, navigating your turns just maybe a little less efficiently. And so I always want to stress that mono red may be a little more obvious on how to play, but doesn't mean you're always playing optimally. So, hopefully we can watch me play some games, and maybe I'll play optimally, maybe I won't, but hopefully we will learn. So let's go. Also, if you haven't already, you should totally like, comment, and subscribe. That's a great way to help support me and this channel. If you have any deck suggestions, please let me know. I am always looking for more things to play. And I have a Twitch if you want to watch me play live Magic. And I have a Metafy if you're interested in coaching. Those links are down below. Now, thank you for watching, and let's play some games. So we'll keep this hand, and this again has a great Kumano faces Kakkazan into Radha's Firebrand. It's always very, very important to try and play Kumano faces Kakkazan before you get the Radha, or before you cast a creature on the following turn. And that's also one of the tricky and interesting parts of this deck, because sometimes you might want to play things in maybe not the best order, or to hold on to a creature so it can get the +1/+1 counter. And I don't know what is or isn't correct a lot of the time, but because it's just a really weird and interesting decision. We're gonna make the Firebrand a 4/2. And then we say go. And next turn we are attacking for 6 damage if our opponent doesn't have removal for the Firebrand. And ouch. Yeah, that's not good for us. And so then we will Reckless Stormseeker. Target itself. And attack for 5. I'm setting a stop on my upkeep because I might want to play with fire our opponent to get that scry. I don't know if we will do it, because maybe we want to kill this. Alright, no. So I'm going to try and get the scry. Now this is going to hurt us if a Thundering Raiju is on top of our library. But other than that, I think we're fine here. I'm going to do this. We'll then give it haste. And we'll keep the mountain in our hand for the blood, because we're going to want to be able to loot it away. Now, because we're also at 12, right? That's a very high life total in this matchup, while your opponent's at 4 and we have a full board. So our opponent is Now thinking, alright, I can't attack because if I do, I'm just probably dead. Yeah. Alright, yeah. So I think this is just game. Because 2 in the air, yeah. Right? Right? Game? I don't think there is a block. GG. Okay, we will keep this hand. Again, we have... One of the really important things in this deck, right, is you want to be able to have your mana being used on the first, second, and third turn. And ideally with creatures, right? Because that means you're adding pressure on the board that's going to build up over time. If our 2-drops were just 2 lightning strikes, this hand would be much less ideal, right? And that's why you might want to consider mulliganing this deck a lot more than you otherwise might. Because, again, the entire point of aggro decks is to be very, very aggressive. And that really requires you to be doing stuff on every turn for the first couple turns of the game. Otherwise, you're just losing so much value and really, really making every other card... If you don't have a 1-drop, you're making every card in your deck that much worse, right? Because you're just not applying the pressure that you really need to be using for your deck to function as well as it needs to. And let's see what our opponent does here. And that is also very important as you consider how aggressive this standard can potentially be. If your opponent is an aggressive deck and you miss out on, you know, your first turn play or even a second turn play, you're just also going to be really, really far behind. But I guess that's really true against a mid-range opponent and a control opponent too. So the moral of the story is if you're an aggressive deck, make sure you can do something every single turn of the game. Oh, wow. I meant to target the Voldaren Epicure there. So that was a huge mistake, and hopefully we don't regret it, we will. I meant to target the Voldaren Epicure there to attack with it. Oh, now maybe I didn't, because it's working out. Because if we attacked with the Epicure there, our opponent could have killed the Stormseeker. That's funny. But I wanted to attack with the put it on the Epicure and attack with it. But it ended up kind of working out for us. Because otherwise, the Stormseeker would have died. And now this is kind of the tricky part of the deck. Ooh. Is figuring out what to do with the Bloodthirsty Adversary, and if we want to really try and capitalize on its value, or do we just be aggressive right now? And I am hoping to capitalize on its value. Though we're in a, because I think we might need that. Oh, that's really, really good, actually. Our opponent's gonna gain so much life here. And now we have a lot of decisions to make. I'm gonna Lightning Strike and put our opponent down to 8. Because with the blood, it makes the Bloodthirsty Adversary a little less appealing. Because we want to get to 5. If we just say go, that flips, and then our opponent can start gaining a ton of life. I don't think we can do anything, though. Our opponent will flip. Probably attack and gain 2 life, which is very unfortunate. No blocks. Oh, that's really, really good. Okay. Opponent is gaining all of the life now. And we lose one of the reasons why we... Alright, Thundering Raiju. Might work out a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, because our opponent has to do that. I think this is such an interesting attack, and I'm not sure what is right or not. Our opponent could potentially not. No, our opponent has to block, I think. At least one card. Alright, our opponent goes to 5, and then we say go. I have no idea what to do. This is going to gain our opponent 2 more life. Again, just very unfortunate. This Graveyard Glutton is doing a lot of work here. No blocks. Alright. I think we just have to hope. Our opponent doesn't have anything in hand. No, we don't need that. GG. Wow. That was a close one. We go first? Okay. We will have the Phoenix Chick. Turn 1. And now, again, our turn 2... We don't have really a turn 2 play. We could Shivan Devastator, but I think that is not using that card very, very well. But it's going to really depend on what happens here. Ooh, Kumano. Yeah, we're going to just attack. And we're going to use the Lightning Strike to hopefully kill the 3/3 that our opponent's going to put onto the battlefield. Our opponent is Gruul, not mono red. Okay. And good thing we have this Lightning Strike to get rid of it. And then I think we go for the Squee over the Reckless Stormseeker because Squee is going to give us, I think, more damage potentially over time and more creatures, which makes our Phoenix Chick turn on more likely. Ascendant Pack Leader. We do have to be a little wary of the Etching Kumano exiling the Squee, though. We don't want that to really happen. And so now we have to figure out what we want to do here. And I think I'm just okay with... do I want to keep the Squee back or no? I guess, you know what? We're probably never gonna flash back the Squee. So I don't care if our opponent blocks it with that. I think. Because the Squee, our Squee won't get exiled because that's... Oh, no, it will. Okay, yeah. But I think we're fine. Right? Maybe I should have targeted the Reckless Stormseeker and attacked. I actually think I meant to do that. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of different You can target things with the Stormseeker and fall down a really weird rabbit hole. And I think I messed that up. I focused on the wrong card. So what I'm going to do is we'll just target that and attack. See if our opponent blocks with the Shivan Devastator. And then I think we're okay. Our opponent playing a land there, I think, is really, really good for us. Yeah, GG. All right, this is good. We have our turn 1 favorite enchantment. Kumano faces Kakkazan. And this is where I'm going to go for a Radha's Firebrand on turn 2, which is a 4-2. Instead of the Phoenix Chick, which can start right away and attacking for 2. And I'm not sure what is the correct. Firebrand just seems so much better and much more powerful, but I could be convinced otherwise. Now, here, I guess we don't care if this... Oh, it's not going to be able to block, right? Because we just target that. And our opponent's at 12. Now, then we have a play with fire. I'm going to set it stop during my upkeep, just in case I might want to play with fire my opponent. Then, but our opponent played a tap land on turn 3. Which, yeah, no, this is wonderful for us. If we draw a land here, oh, is that good enough? Yeah, that's also good enough. Because we get to Radha's Firebrand, so then it can't block. And our opponent goes to 8. Our opponent goes to 6. GG. Okay, we'll keep this hand, and I want to Epicure first. Well, I mean, what else are we gonna do, right? And our next turn, probably Radha into Squee. Our opponent is a Gruul aggro deck, so that's a little good. Now, thankfully, or not thankfully, our opponent could do a lot of things here that would really, really hurt us. You have my Iconoclast, that's a lot of damage. So we're taking 6, that's fine. 12, and then we attack back with our Squee. Now, the good thing here is Radha's gonna make blocking much more difficult for our opponent. And I think right now, we're still likely on a 2-turn clock from our opponent. So I'm also not, like, very, very confident about what we should do next turn. We do have lethal if our opponent taps out, right? And attacks all. But if there's, like, some type of interaction, it just makes things very, very complicated, right? Alright. And so this is what I'm talking about. What do we do here? Because if we play with fire, Radha, we can't pump Radha yet. Play with fire and Iconoclast and Lightning Strike the Firebrand. We deal 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We deal 8. And then if our opponent doesn't have anything, we're okay on the attack back. I'm going to do that. And then attack with everything. Right? That way, if our opponent didn't block, it would have been lethal. And now we can just wait. And depending what our opponent does, we can... we go to 4 here. I think that's okay. Then we do 1, 2, 3, 4. GG. Well, thank you for watching me play some Mono Red Aggro in Standard. I absolutely love this deck. It is great, it is fast, and just really, really, really good. And I think it's something I would recommend for people who want to climb the ladder and just get games in. Because the games are definitely very, very quick, but hopefully, as you've seen, not without their very legitimate and meaningful choices. So yeah, I'd recommend it. There's also a lot of different variations of Mono Red, which is really, really cool and interesting. And I'm wondering if you have any favorites. Let me know. But with all that being said, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. I also stream live at twitch.tv/thenerdysteve, and I do coaching. All of those links are down below. I just want to say again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. Bye.